I saw them putting the men in the trucks and the military cars.
A large number of these people were taken away and never appeared again. This is the unknown story of Sabra and Shatila.
It all started in the evening. For 36 straight hours in September 1982, Lebanese Christian militiamen slaughtered unarmed men, women and children in Beirut's Palestinian refugee camps in Sabra and Shatila. The militias were ordered into the camps by the man who is now Israel's Prime Minister, Ariel Sharon. Some say 900 Palestinians died, some more than 2,000. No one knows exactly how many. An Israeli state inquiry, the Kahan Commission, found they died at the hands of the Lebanese Forces militia, but said that Sharon, as defense minister, was also personally responsible. He resigned his portfolio but stayed in the cabinet. To this day, this crime remains unpunished. But now Ariel Sharon has reason to be worried. If this man has his way, the Israeli Prime Minister will stand trial in a Belgian court accused of war crimes, crimes committed in Lebanon almost 20 years ago. Shibli Malat is a Lebanese lawyer who represents 23 Palestinians who lost relatives in the massacre. Israel doesn't recognize the authority of the International Court of Justice in The Hague, but recent legislation now allows Belgium to prosecute foreigners for war crimes wherever they were committed. And this has given Shibli Malat his chance. Ariel Sharon's lawyers say he has no case to answer. They say the matter was exhaustively investigated by the Kahan Commission.
The Israelis will fight tooth and nail to prevent it from getting to trial. That's going to be the biggest battle, because they know very well that once it comes to trial, Ariel Sharon has no chance of escaping justice.
As Malat prepares his case, a hitherto untold story has come to light, the story of the disappeared. This stadium is now one of the jewels of post-war Beirut. But this neglected footage from the day after the massacre shows lines of Palestinians under Israeli control. What happened to the people shown here, we don't know. But eyewitness testimony given to Channel 4 News suggests that some Palestinians brought to the stadium were never seen again.
Hundreds of people were rounded under the supervision and control and with the interrogation of the Israeli forces. A lot of them disappeared.
Among them was the husband of this woman, Sana Mahmoud Sarsawi. She saw him go into the stadium with other male relatives, but she never saw them come out.
We went to the stadium and then never saw them again. That was 19 years ago. No one talks about them. No one knows about them. No one knows if they are alive or dead.
And then there's Siham Balkis, who was filmed arguing with an Israeli officer outside the stadium.
Why all the men are out and he is
Everyone will be out.
Why he is here?
Because he is sitting there telling us what he knows. You think so, you don't know.
I know what, why
you think that you know.
Please, you can ask all our neighbors if anybody saw him carrying a gun. He's mechanic, please.
He is mechanic, he is here,
yes.
Don't worry.
Why all the men are out and he is inside?
Maybe he's asked some questions. At the moment they finish, he will be sent back.
Yesterday, all the day, he stayed here from 6 o'clock till about 9 o'clock in the evening.
She eventually forced her way inside to look for her brother. She says she saw scores of young men here, some of them blindfolded.
Israeli officer got very angry when he saw me there and tried to let me go out, but I refused. I told them, kill me, I will not go out unless I take my brother with me.
This is the line.
We tracked down the cameraman who took these pictures. He says the interrogations in the stadium continued after the massacre and for security reasons asks not to be identified.
It was a Sunday morning. I went to Sabra and Shatila to see what's happened. You see, here, this big line, everyone he has his passport and ID card.
How many people do you
like 400, 500. Those people, they have a list of the name of them in the kiosk of the Israeli. They took him away, put him here. After they took him inside to the stadium.
So those
and after
people,
I don't.
Was on the list, they took them out
those
of the
people,
line.
their name in the list of the Israeli. They took him inside to the stadium.
On the edges of the camps, Israeli soldiers call on Palestinians to come to the stadium. Palestinians walked to the stadium believing they would be safe. The killing in the camps had been done by the Lebanese forces, not by the Israelis. And the Israelis were in charge at the stadium. The Kahan Commission said the stadium was a place of refuge where Palestinians were given food and water after the massacre. It also said Israelis and Lebanese forces never worked side by side. Not everyone agrees. Mahmoud Yunus was only 12 when the massacre happened. Today he works as a dental technician in Shatila. Mahmoud lost his father, uncle, 3 brothers and 3 cousins in 1982. He was very young at the time, but he contradicts the conclusion of the Kahan Commission, claiming that he saw Lebanese militia and Israeli forces working together.
The militia took us to the sports stadium and put us under the stairs. There were many women and children. Behind this sandbank, Israeli soldiers were standing with Lebanese forces. They were together. In the afternoon, an Israeli soldier came and said, "Go to the Kola area. Whoever comes back to the camps will die."
There were Israeli soldiers here. Tanks, jeeps, covered jeeps. The road was full of Israelis, many of them holding their weapons, like this.
I asked an Israeli government spokesman if it was true that Palestinians from these camps had disappeared from the stadium while under Israeli control. He said Israel was not going to enter into an argument about this or that point. He said Israel's contention is that the case against Sharon is politically motivated and a manipulation of Belgian law. But so far, Shibli Malat's team has overcome Israel's objections and is now preparing for a first hearing in Belgium.
I have a very profound belief that it is difficult to have peace in the Middle East without minimal accountability. The footage is extremely important because of this extraordinary line of prisoners waiting to be interrogated. And it's clear from what we uncovered that a large number of these people were taken away and never appeared again.
Remember Siham Balkis, the young Palestinian woman filmed arguing with the Israelis? She found her brother, but more importantly, she offers us perhaps the only clue as to what happened to the men who disappeared.
Israeli officer let me take my brother and told me, if take your brother, I would not like to see your face here. But I saw them putting the other men in the trucks and in the military cars, and they told them, we are going to give you to the Lebanese forces.
The same forces who had earlier massacred the refugees in Sabra and Shatila. There is no independent confirmation of Siham Balkis's testimony, and no one knows how many Palestinian men disappeared in September 1982. But many of Shibli Malat's witnesses have relatives among the disappeared, and this will be an element in his case against Ariel Sharon, That's if he succeeds in bringing him to court.